101 पे।
हेलो चेक हेलो। हेलो टेस्ट हेलो चेक हेलो 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 चेक
हेलो चेक हेलो हेलो।
हेलो चेक हेलो।
may I request President Devra to escort all the dignitaries on the dais?
उसके साथ प्रेसिडेंट भी रहता है हमेशा।
Namaskar and a warm welcome to today's function to felicitate all the newly qualified AORs. I welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant, the Chief Justice of India, Justice K.V. Vishwanathan, Justice Vipul Pancholi, members of Advocate on Record Examination Committee, all the other judges of the Supreme Court of India attending today's function. I welcome learned Attorney General for India, Mr. R. Venkatramani. I welcome past President of SCORA, Mr. Gopal Singh. I welcome past Vice President, Mr. Amit Sharma. Team SCBA, Mr. Rahul Kaushik, Senior Advocate, Vice President and Vice President, Ms. Pragya Baghel, Madam Secretary, Mr. Manish Dubey, Joint Secretary, SCBA, Mrs. Neena Gupta, Member, GSICC, learned senior advocates present, distinguished members of SCORA, esteemed members of the bar, my fellow members from SCORA Executive Committee, and most importantly, I welcome all newly qualified AORs to this gathering. Justice Dipankar Datta, who chairs the AOR Examination Committee, could not attend today's function and he has conveyed his regret. I now request Khushbu Sahu, Executive Member, to present a planter and welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant, the Chief Justice of India. I request Mr. Rajat Mittal, Executive Member, to present a planter and welcome Honorable Mr. Justice K.V. Vishwanathan. I request Mr. Anas Tanveer, Executive Member, to present a planter and welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Vipul Pancholi. I request Dr. Meenakshi Kalra, Executive Member, to present a planter to learned Attorney General for India. Today we gather to celebrate and felicitate the AORs who have successfully qualified the 2025 AOR examinations. And I begin with congratulating each of them for this significant professional milestone. Being an advocate on record is undoubtedly a privilege, but it is equally a responsibility. On this occasion, I would like to share a few thoughts that I've learned over the few years for our newly qualified AORs. First, let's not be a name-lending AOR. The measure of success is not by the number of matters we file, but how responsibly and diligently we discharge our duties as AOR. Second, remember that as an AOR, you're accountable for the life cycle of the matter, not just at the time of filing, but during the entire period till the disposal of the matter. So you have to be conscious of what is being filed in your name, because your name goes on it. Third, technology and AI are valuable tools, but that is only to enhance your productivity and your efficiency. Let it not be your master. Use your own judgment with clarity of thought when you use it. Be conscious of the work product that is coming out of the AI. Fourth, any person appearing in any matter filed by you, whether a junior advocate or a designated senior advocate, is deemed to have been appearing on your instructions. Respect and deference to the court shall remain paramount at all times. And finally, never forget, you are first and foremostly an officer of the court. While you must represent your client's interest fearlessly and efficiently, but let's keep in mind our duty towards administration of justice. Now, with this, may I request Mr. Nikhil Jain, Vice President SCORA, to deliver the welcome address.
Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Justice Suryakant, Honorable Mr. Justice K.V. Vishwanathan, Honorable Mr. Justice Vipul Manubhai Pancholi, Judge Supreme Court of India and members of Committee for Advocates on Record Association, Justice Sanjeev Sachdeva, Justice Arun Palli, Honorable Justice V. Mona, Mr. R. Venkatramani, London Attorney General for India, Senior Advocates, Rahul Kaushik, Vice President SCBA, Pragya Baghel, Secretary SCBA, Minesh Dubey, Joint Secretary SCBA, Office Bearers of SCBA and SCORA, Ms. Neena Gupta, Member GSICC, distinguished members of the bar, distinguished guests, and my dear colleagues. Namaste, good evening, and a very warm welcome to all of you. It is my privilege on behalf of the Advocates on Record Association to extend a warm welcome to you all on this special occasion. At the outset, I express a sincere gratitude to the Honorable Chief Justice of India for kindly consenting to be our Chief Justice this evening. We are also deeply honored by the presence of the Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court and the members of the AOR Examination Committee. Your presence makes this celebration truly memorable and is a great source of encouragement for every young member of the bar. Today, we have gathered to felicitate the advocates on record of the batch 2025. To each one of you, I offer my heartiest congratulations. Clearing the AOR examination is a significant achievement. It is a result of sustained hard work, discipline, experience, and determination. Behind every successful candidate are months spent on understanding the rules and practices of this honorable court while managing the daily work of the profession. This evening celebrates not just an exam, but the beginning of a new responsibility. An advocate on record holds a unique place in the Supreme Court. You are entrusted with ensuring that every matter filed in your name is procedurally correct, complete, and presented with integrity. You are entrusted with ensuring your signature will carry the assurance that the pleadings have been checked, the rules have been followed, and the client's claims have been put forward with sincerity. This designation is not just an addition to your credentials, it is an undertaking to this honorable court. As you begin this new chapter, I urge you to remember three qualities that define our bar: courage, courtesy, and character. Courage to present your client fearlessly, courtesy to remain respectful to the bench, to colleagues, and to litigants, character to place your professional duty above personal gain, and to uphold the trust reposed in you. This honorable court deals with matters of great constitutional importance as well as the personal concerns of citizens. Every file represents someone's liberty, livelihood, or dignity. Your responsibility as an AOR is to ensure that these concerns reach the court through accurate pleadings and a complete record. Technology is also changing the way we work. We must embrace it, but with care. Technology can assist, but it cannot replace your judgments or responsibility. The final duty to verify every fact will always remain with the advocate whose name is on the record. I also encourage you to keep learning. Passing the exam is only the beginning. Learn from your seniors, support your colleagues, and help juniors when your time comes. The strength of the bar lies in sharing knowledge. SCORA is committed to supporting you in this journey. We are not just an association. We are a professional community that works to uphold standards and to create opportunity for learning and management. We welcome you all and forward you to your active participation. I also take this opportunity to thank the families of AORs, mentors, and seniors of our new AORs. Your support and sacrifices are an important part of this success. To the batch of 2025, celebrate with pride, but carry this responsibility with humility. May you build your practice on competence, integrity, and assess the court with clarity. I wish your work strengthen the faith of every litigant who comes to this court seeking justice. Once again, congratulations to all the newly advocates on record. Thank you.
Thank you. May I request our President Devrat to kindly address the gathering?
Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Justice Surkant, Justice K.V. Vishwanathan, Justice Vipul M. Pancholi, the Attorney General for India, Mr. Venkatramani, Justice V. Mohana, Justice Arun Palli, Honorable Justice Sandeep Sachdeva, my colleagues in SCORA Executive Committee, on the dais, Mr. Nikhil Jain, Vice President to Andhra Pavarja. Off the dais, the entire Executive Committee, Mr. Gopal Singh, former President of SCORA, Mr. Amit Sharma, former Vice President, Mr. Rahul Kaushik, the Vice President of SCVA, Pragya Baghel, the Secretary, Mr. Minesh Dubey, the Joint Secretary, and the entire Executive Committee of SCVA. Learned senior advocates, Mr. Anupam Lal Das, who is also a former AOR, Mr. Sudhir Saxena, senior advocate, the colleagues at the bar, officers of the registry, and the families, members of the AORs who have newly inducted, present here today. First of all, my heartiest congratulations to all the advocates on record who have qualified in the 2024 and 2026, who have appeared in 2023 and 26. I know this examination takes a lot. Most of you have prepared while running a full law practice, drafting all day and reading the Supreme Court rules at night. Your families adjusted their lives around it, so congratulations belongs to them also. It is a very happy thing for our community that 3 former advocates on record have been elevated as judges of this honorable court, Justice Mohana, Justice Chandrasekhar, and Justice Sanjeev Sachdeva, in one go. This is the first time it has happened. They wrote the same examination that you have cleared. They drafted the petition, got the same defects cleared in the registry, got the matter listed, and argued it. In the recent past, also we had some senior advocates on records and senior advocates later on who have been elevated as the judges of this honorable court, Justice Sanjay Kaul, Justice Ravind Bhatt, and Justice U. Lalit. Learned Attorney General of India is also a former advocate on record. In fact, Justice Vishwanathan's father, Mr. Venkatramani, is also an advocate on record. Honorable Chief Justice, our request from the association is a standing one. And I repeat it today. Please give us more judges from the AOR community, and especially from the women members of the bar. Nothing encourages a young lawyer in this room more than that. Now about the examination. People sometimes think that this is one more entrance test. It is much more than that. It is the only examination in the country which an advocate had to pass after enrollment to get the right to act in the court. And look at the syllabus, practice and procedure, where you learn limitation, defects, mentioning, listing everything about how work actually moves in this court. Drafting, where you learn what a proper SLP looks like and why. Professional ethics, where you learn what your signature means. And leading cases. I always ask my colleagues to go back and look at that list of leading cases. One more time. Keshwanand Bharti is there, Menaka Gandhi is there, Puttaswamy is there. Anyone who has honestly prepared the paper and studied the Constitution of India properly, he has studied for the first time after passing the law school exam, probably. That is why I always say that this examination makes better lawyers in every court. It teaches constitutional values. Along the way, whatever else changes, that should not be lost. I also want to thank the Honorable Chief Justice on behalf of the association for consenting to hold the examination for the candidates who have to appear and write one paper from the previous examinations. Thank you very much, sir. Many young colleagues were waiting for that decision, and it has given them some certainty. We are grateful for it. And since the occasion permits one respectful submission, the examination has been paused this year while the question of number is being considered. All I will say that this examination is a standard of quality and the court needs that standard. Our request that it should resume soon and remain as tough as it always was. To the new year, one last word. Now, your name goes on the petition by way of Wakalatnama under Order 4, Rule 7 of the Supreme Court rules. Tools keeps changing. Last week itself, the association submitted its report on the draft AI regulations. But whoever or whatever assists you in drafting, whether it is artificial intelligence or human intelligence, when you sign, it means you have read it and you have verified it and you stand behind it. Please hold on to that. Welcome to the fold. Scora is your association, and this court is now your home. Congratulations once again to all of you and your family especially. In the end, Your Lordship, I wish to add one request to the Honorable CJI and the Honorable judges present here, that today the advocates on records are facing this gravest and unprecedented problem of sequence of matter, which we see in the morning on the day of hearing of all the matters. We are thankful that the Honorable Chief Justice has held a full court, and that issue, I think, will be resolved soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Devrat. He really brought back memories where we are actually doing the filing and defects for the judges as well, who are now the judges, and they were AOs earlier. Okay, so may I request the learned Attorney General for India, Mr. R. Venkatramani, to share his thoughts.
Firstly, let me congratulate all those who are qualified this year. And way back in 1982, when I became an advocate on record, I never knew that sometime later, years later, I'll become the head of the examination board, right? But it's a great job. But the lighter part of it is my senior, Mr. P.P. Rao, one of the most renowned lawyers of this court and across the country. When the results came, and he saw it in the notice board, and looked at me, you have disappointed me. I was wondering, what is the disappointment? He said, you're not top the list, you're only the third in the list. Of course, that was a great disappointment for me too. When I found out that why did I slide down the third rank, I found it in the top one, the second one, the third one, half marks differences there. So I went back to Mr. Pipero, I said, I had only 1.5 marks difference, should not disappoint you so much, sir, I think I'll compensate sometime in future. And when I got designated, I remembered the story, I mentioned the story to him and said, you have amply compensated me. So each one of you, I tell you, each one of you can compensate your family, your friends, your mentors, and your own self in this only way of looking at what you can do for this profession. Remember that you're practicing in one of the rarest courts of this world. A court which is so open, which is accessible in many ways, and where the court is probably determine the destinies of millions of people of our country in more than one ways. So you're fortunate to be practicing in this court and to be invited to be practicing in this court. Please do not forget that you are a part of this wonderful institution. If you forget it, and if you come sliding into mere monetary commercial aspects, then I think you're losing something wonderful in your life. Of course, making good part of life is important, but much more important is what you do through your professional equipment and acumen to the millions of people of a country who want every day, every minute, some justice or the other. Please remember that. And that would be done great and job in your future. I don't want to give a big lecture today, but when I took over at the head of the examination board, we were a lot of concerns. And like every one of us individually and collectively would like to enhance quality, would like to enhance equipments and all that. We thought at some point of time we will have an online examination. The examination board debated it for almost over a year, but we could not do it. I was wondering, all of you probably were so equipped with technology that could done an online examination instead of writing 3 hours, with pen and paper, but then that could not work. But then later we found it could not work. We decided, how do we really ensure that not too many people walk the corridors of the Supreme Court? Too crowded, and then too crowded not only physically, but in more than one sense. We had a lot of thought process about it, a lot of ideas was to bring it down or scale it down and so on and so forth. But fortunately for each and every one of you, in the year 24 and 25, we did not do that. And you are therefore fortunate to be here and to become part of a wonderful institution. And I wish each and every one of you a great future. And one important thing, when I used to set papers for the advocate record examination, I remember in the year 2012 onwards, I've been setting papers for the examination. At some point of time, the ethics paper caught my attention. And somewhere before I became the head of the board, the last examination where I set a paper for ethics, I thought I must break ice and do not follow the set pattern of setting examination papers. And after the examination was over, I got a lot of response saying the ethics paper was the most toughest and difficult, a very unorthodox paper. Sir. And then I wish you did not give this kind of a big headache for a ethics paper. But I tell you one thing, do not be hired guns in the profession. You are not a hired gun. You go beyond your client's interest. You go beyond all those concerns. And you become a hired gun, then you are not really a worthy member of the profession. That's a very important, I think, counsel I would like to give to each and every one of you. And I remember, maybe after 30, 40 years, when the institution would have become grown bigger, many of you would have become judges and this senior counsel, and maybe any one of you could be attorney general. Remember these words: if you are not a hired gun, you would have reached the height of skies. And I've done it in my life. My first case was a legal aid case. I've received enormous satisfaction in pro bono work, much more than all the wonderful work I have done in my other parts of life, much more than constitutional arguments. Pro bono life, where the life and liberty of common women in our country, right? Please remember that. Once again, I wish you a great life and future ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Coming from the Attorney General, who has been an AOR, an Attorney General leading all of us, these are words of wisdom. So you should abide by them. We all are endeavoring to do that. May I now request Honorable Mr. Justice Vipul Pancholi to share his thoughts.
Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant, the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Mr. Justice K.V. Vishwanathan, my esteemed brother judge and fellow member of the Advocates on Record Examination Committee, my esteemed sister and brothers, Mr. R. Venkatramani, Learned Attorney General of India, Mr. Devrat, President of SCORA, Mr. Nikhil Jain, Vice President of SCORA, Ms. Yugandhara Pawar Jha, Honorary Secretary of SCORA, other office bearers of SCORA, office bearers of SCBA, respected senior advocates, distinguished members of the bar, dear advocates on record of the batch of 2025, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is indeed a privilege and a matter of great satisfaction to join all of you on this special occasion where we celebrate the success of new batch of Advocate on Record. My heartfelt congratulations to every member of the batch of 2025. Today marks not merely the successful completion of an examination, it marks your formal induction into one of the most distinguished professional responsibilities in our judicial system. The title of an advocate on record is unique in the Supreme Court of India. It carries with it tradition of excellence that has been upheld over decades. Every advocate on record becomes an indispensable officer of this court. The Supreme Court is not merely the highest court of the country, it is the constitutional conscience of the nation. Every petition filed here has the potential to affect not merely the parties before the court, but at times the constitutional and legal landscape of the country itself. Therefore, the role of an advocate on record extends far beyond drafting petitions or filing documents. An advocate on record serves as the first gatekeeper of justice. The court places immense trust in advocate on record because every filing bears his or her certification and professional responsibility. This confidence has been carefully preserved through the Supreme Court rules over the years. The Supreme Court rules of 2013 prescribed rigorous standards before one may qualify as an advocate on record. An advocate must possess substantial experience at the bar, undergo prescribed training under an advocate on record, successfully clear the examination conducted by the Supreme Court, maintain an office within the prescribed distance from the court, and fulfill the obligations imposed under the rules. These requirements are not procedural formalities. They reflect the philosophy that those who represent litigants before the nation's highest court must possess competence, discipline, and integrity. Mr. Devrat, Mr. Jain, Ms. Jha have already pointed out certain responsibilities of AORs. However, allow me to briefly remind our new inducted advocates on record of a few responsibilities embodied in the rules. An advocate on record alone has the authority to act and file pleadings on behalf of the parties before the Supreme Court. This privilege is accompanied by corresponding accountability. An advocate on record is expected to personally supervise litigation and cannot merely lend his or her name to proceedings. The rules specifically regard mere name lending without meaningful participation as conduct unbecoming of an advocate on record. Punctuality and responsibilities towards the court remain essential. The rules emphasize the presence of the advocate on record during hearing and require proper compliance with procedural obligations. These provisions remind us that professional excellence is measured not only by brilliance in argument, but also by reliability, diligence, and integrity. SCORA has over the decades played a vital role in maintaining the standards of this profession, in extending support to its members, and in acting as a bridge between the bar and the bench. I would urge each one of you, as new entrant, to actively participate in the activities of the association, to attend its seminars, to contribute to discussions on improving practice and procedure, and to make full use of collective wisdom of your seniors who are members of this association. Before I conclude, let me leave you with few simple thoughts. First, never stop learning. Law is dynamic. The moment learning stops, professional growth also stops. Second, guard your reputation more carefully than your success. Reputation takes years to build, but only moments to lose. Third, always remember that every signature you place on a petition carries not merely your name, but also the dignity of the Supreme Court. Let that awareness guide every professional decision you make. Fourth, build the habit of reading the complete record yourself, even where a very capable junior has prepared the draft. The AOR who has personally read Every page of the paper book rarely gets caught by surprise before the bench. Fifth, extend courtesy and mentorship to your juniors. Many of you have reached here because a senior once corrected your drafts patiently without humiliation. Carry that spirit forward. Once again, I congratulate every member of the Advocate on Record batch of 2025. May each one of you uphold the highest traditions of the bar, strengthen the administration of justice, and contribute meaningfully to the constitutional ideals that define our republic. I wish you every success in your professional journey. I compliment SCORA, its office bearers, and executive committee for organizing this felicitation in such a dignified manner. Thank you.
Thank you for the encouragement, sir. May I now request Honorable Mr. Justice K.V. Vishwanathan to share his thoughts.
Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Suryakant, my distinguished colleague in the court and in the committee, Honorable Justice Vipul Pancholi, my brother judges and sister judge in the audience, Justice Sanjeev Sachdeva, Justice Arun Palli, Sister Justice Mohana, President of the Advocate on Record Association, Devrat, Secretary Nikhil, and Treasurer Yugandhra Pawarja, distinguished senior advocates, distinguished members of the audience, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you. At the outset, let me congratulate you for your singular achievement in becoming an advocate on record of this great institution. You are the only category of advocates who can file a pleading in the court. That is a huge honor. But as was said by my predecessor speakers, it also brings with it great responsibility. So my suggestion to you as an elder brother is that put a heavy price on your name. Don't sign anything casually. Anything that goes under your name must be accurate, precise, and above all, must value add in the case. Just imagine, if a brief comes your way, the client has chosen you out of a wide array of thousands of advocates. So this thought should get in. Somehow I always had this feeling that once the brief comes, there's a tendency to take it casually. Please do not do that. I'm not saying all of you do that. In some quarters, that client, for him, the last court is the final destination. He has entrusted it to you. So you have to give in your best. There's no doubt that many of you will give your best because you have come through a very tough exam. But always remember this. Take pride in your designation as an advocate on record. This will be only a stepping stone. But today, as you are an advocate on record, it's a moment of great pride for each one of you, for your family, and for your friends. There's one aspect that I want you to bear in mind. There is somehow a feeling, it is changed by and large now, that an advocate on record means that he will prepare the case or she will prepare the case, file the case, and as a default engage a senior. It was widely prevalent in the 80s and 90s, but it is substantially changed now. But you must bring in a culture where as a default, you will argue the case. And in exceptional cases where the client insists, you will of course engage a senior. You should have that confidence in yourself. You should have the self-belief. As Devrat mentioned, my father was an advocate on record. He migrated from trial court as a prosecutor after 25 years. He never figured out what this senior designation was because in Coimbatore you don't have any such thing. He argued his own cases. I know Brother Sanjeev, my sister Mohana, the learned Attorney General, all of them argued their cases as a default rule, except in exceptional cases where a senior was engaged. So that culture must set in. If you want a change of name will help, make you call yourself advocate on rolls. If a record has a tendency to associate with you with the paper book. But for heaven's sake, argue your cases. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't tell your client that, look, this is an important case where you should engage a senior. But if he tells you, no, I cannot afford, don't be diffident. At that point, you must be able to pick up courage because you are there, the judges are there. Now, that is where your drafting is going to help you. Please do not be casual in your drafting because 3 years in the court and substantially having practiced here, I have realized that a good draft does make a difference to the outcome of the case. After all, at the end of the day, judges are looking for assistance in a brief. They want to pick up the point at the shortest possible time, and a good synopsis and a cogent list of dates, which is not prolix, should be able to explain your case. That will require a lot of pains to be taken. But please take those pains because judges may compliment you for the draft, the word may get around, and that's the only way you can get your name known. Secondly, I want to tell you a story which I heard in Kerala. They praised a leading advocate on record of this court, Mr. A.M.S. Anam. Must be very elderly now. And a lot of advocates told me, Chief, that the reason why they patronized him was he communicated with the client. Those days, communication was only by telephone, we had to make an STD or communicate by a letter. They told us that moment the papers reach him, he would send a letter that we have received your papers, it's under process, I need these documents. The next stage will be informed, the registration of the diary number will be informed. All it takes is a postcard or an inland letter or a cover. The date of listing will be informed, so that the client who is 3,000, 4,000 or few hundred miles away is assured that his case is taken care of. After all, most clients, barring people who are totally illiterate, at the end of the day, deep down know how strong or weak their case is, because the lawyers would have told them over a period of time. But they want a care to be bestowed by the lawyer. And most of the successful advocates on record are those who have excelled in this arena of maintaining communication with the client. And people have failed. Those who did not communicate, who kept the client, absolutely at a loss as to what has happened to his case. Many clients would not be able to afford to make an STD those days. They would wait till 10 o'clock for a quarter rate or ring you up before 5, which he will not do to a lawyer. So communication is the key. Drafting is very important. And as was said by my brother, as you grow senior in the calling as an advocate on record, encourage juniors. They need not be necessarily in your chamber. Identify good juniors who can draft, give them an encouragement, share a part of your fee with them, and that's the way you give back to the profession. I don't want to take much time except to tell you that don't treat the advocate on recordship as a destination. It is only a stepping stone. Each of you is capable of achieving greater laurels. All that is required is sustained effort. The profession is a very unique profession. You don't know what rewards await you round the corner. You keep doing your work, something magic will happen, because it has happened. So I wish you all the best. I wish you good luck. Keep up the great work. Keep up your positive spirit and be an excellent part of this great system of administration of justice. I wish you good luck and Godspeed. Thank you very much.
Another set of excellent advices: focus on your drafting, communication, and argue your own matters. Thank you, sir. May I now respectfully invite Honorable Chief Justice of India, Mr. Justice Surya Kant, to address the gathering.
My esteemed colleague, Justice K.V. Viswanathan, Judge Supreme Court of India, Justice Vipul M. Pancholi, Judge Supreme Court of India, both looking after, along with Justice Dipankar Datta, the AOR committee in the Supreme Court. Justice Sanjeev Sachdeva, Justice Arun Palli, and Justice B. Mohana, who are also graced this occasion. Shri R. Venkat Ramani, Learned Attorney General for India, Secretary General, Registrars and other officers of the Supreme Court establishment, Shri Devrat, President of the Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association, Shri Nikhil Jain, Vice President, Madam Yugandhara Pawar Jha, Honorary Secretary, the other office bearers, Joint Secretary, Treasurer and Joint Treasurer of SCORA, office bearers of the Supreme Court Bar Association who are also present here, very distinguished senior advocates, some of whom are also gracing this occasion, learned members of the bar, and most importantly, the newly inducted advocates on record. Friends from media, ladies and gentlemen, today we have gathered to celebrate not just your success in an examination, but your induction into one of the most respected professional institutions of our legal system. My warmest congratulations to each one of you of the 2024 and 2025 batch of AORs who are formally inducted today. With today's formal induction, you now join a fraternity that has for decades assisted this court in preserving the highest traditions of advocacy and administration of justice. My dear friends, when you embark on this journey, let me share something I have learnt over the years. One very aptly said statement is that titles may open a door, but they do not build a career. What builds a career is the quality of your work. So my suggestion is that do not worry about how quickly people will recognize your name. Instead, make sure that whenever your name appears on a case file, the bench knows and very confidently knows it, that it will find a very well-prepared lawyer, advocate on record to argue, and a very well-prepared brief paper book before us. Recognition comes naturally to those who keep improving their legal craft every single day. That is why I would also urge you to resist the distraction that often accompany the early years of practice. Nowadays, I also see that it is very easy to become visible and known. So how you become visible and known? That is through social media. But my dear friends, remember, such visibility is not the same as credibility. Avoid the temptation to measure your success by online popularity. You are not to run like a TV channel where you are worried about your TRP. The respect that truly matters, the respect that truly matters is the respect you earn inside the courtroom and from your colleagues, clients, and the bar. What eventually sustains a legal career spanning decades is somber and unglamorous hard work, the kind built in chambers and not in social media comment sections. I also believe that being advocate on record is not only a professional upgrade, it is also an enlargement of duty. You are uniquely positioned, and I would say duty bound, to ensure that the poor and the marginalized are not denied representation. Therefore, whenever you can, do take the legal aid matters. Help someone who has nowhere else to go. Sometimes one case handled sincerely can change an entire family's life. That satisfaction is something money can never bring to you. Let me also offer you a practical advice which seems very obvious yet has been very difficult to follow. And that advice my brother Vishwanathan and my brother Pancholi both gave to you, being a good drafter. Judges read your pleadings before they hear your arguments. Long before you rise to address the bench, your drafting has already introduced both your case and in many ways you as a lawyer. When the drafting, two things I have been saying in life and one example I have been giving. If I vividly recollect, Devrat might be recollecting and Nikhil was also there. I think earlier in 2023 batch also I had an opportunity to address the 2023 batch. And I always often give my own example and I never feel shy in sharing that part. I will just now come to you. But first, in about the drafting of a case, I have always been saying that you should become a fiction writer. When you draft a petition, think yourself as if you are someone, a great author who is writing a fiction. So your narrative should be such like that when your first paragraph is read, the reader, whether he is a judge or whether you are opposite counsel or anyone else, he get curiosity to read the next paragraphs and it becomes a chain of sequence of events. And this is how that nobody can distract from reading your complete brief. So that narrative, that writing, that art of drafting the case is extremely important. And mind you, the drafting is the soul of the profession. When I come to my own example about it, I must share you, when I shifted to the High Court and after doing a juniorship for about a year or so, I started my own practice. I came from a middle class family and I needed money to earn for myself to sustain in profession. So when the independently client will engage me for the entire matter, and that would of course include the drafting and arguments until that matter is finally decided. So there was in our High Court the practice was that you take fee only once, lump sum fee, and that's all. So that was we being young lawyers, our fee was very minimal as compared to the other lawyers. But there were 7 or 8 very top brass leading lawyers, senior advocates in the High Court, who their offices were very busy. So they somehow the other, one after the other, picked up me, and they realized that if the complicated matters come in their chambers, for drafting purposes, they should hire me. And trust me, if I used to charge from my own independent client rupees 550 at that time, they will pay me rupees 1100 only for drafting a case. And that became my potential source of professional income. So I would, because as a young lawyer, not many clients would engage me, but I had sufficient work. But my drafting by engagement in the other senior counsel chambers, that made me a very busy lawyer at the young age. And with the passage of time, I had to very politely say no to one office, then no to another office. And this is how then finally, somewhere in 1990, then I had my own so much work that I stopped accepting briefs for drafting. But this is how I wanted to say that drafting is an extremely important tool of your professional journey, and better the drafting, it will make your success story speedier as compared to other things. Along with drafting, another most important component which you always keep in mind, that nowadays we are living in the age of artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence can produce a serviceable draft in seconds. And that can be very alluring, that can be very lucrative kind of offer. Because if you feel that a client has engaged and you use artificial intelligence for drafting, that can become very dangerous. So my use is that it's not that I am not discouraging you from using artificial intelligence. There are so many things which you can utilize artificial intelligence for that purpose. You want to say find out some doctrine, some case law of the world, how the different jurisdictions on the globe have really developed that. All these things can be sussed out. But as far as the drafting part is concerned, you can take some assistance, but genuinely it is your application of mind that should be reflected in the drafting. Never forget, when the client engages you, he engages you as a human being. He knows that client that he is engaging so-and-so advocate on record for drafting. He does not know how many machines you are keeping in your chamber, and he does not engage your machines. One. Two, also the real ground reality. There may be hardship, there may be mitigating circumstances, there may be extreme difficult circumstances in a case that client will narrate to you, and you will translate those narration, those incidents, those hardships, those mitigating circumstances, those events into a drafting. AI can't do it. It's only a human being who can understand the emotional background and then can translate into with the kind of language which you think that it will convey and it will communicate what you really want to say through your pleadings. So therefore, my suggestion will be that artificial intelligence should be only a secondary assistant in your office. It should not be a substitute of your own in the matter of drafting of the cases. That part really need to be taken care. And probably on the day when one of the batch appeared in court number 1, there also I had probably requested all of you. I'm quite sure that you being custodians of the best practices, the professional values, the professional ethics, the moral principles which are integral part of the legal profession, and particularly which the Advocates on Record and the Advocates on Record Association as your apex body, that you have very consistently followed and demonstrated, and that you have made always the institution to feel proud of those values. I am quite sure that with the induction of the today's young people, that those values, those principles will be further strengthened, and you will lead by example to teach your juniors, because each one of you haven't become advocate on record. We all know that there is a length of practice already to your credit, and some of you by now are so successful that you must be keeping young juniors. So your conduct, your investment in values, and your insistence to follow the ethics and principles will be something that will be closely watched by your young juniors, and therefore you have to lead by example, create an example not only for your future posterity of advocates on record, but also an investment in the legal profession. I think with these words and with these suggestions, I am quite sure that each one of you will prove yourself to be trustees of the standards and values of the legal profession, and you will enjoy that privilege which is being conferred on you today with great caution, with great precaution, and ensuring that you will earn a wonderful name for the legal profession. Thank you very much. All the best wishes to you.
Thank you, Lordship, for the guidance and the words of wisdom, which will undoubtedly motivate and inspire the newest members of our AOR community. Now, may we start with the felicitation of our toppers. We will start with the current year's toppers. I call upon Shrutunjay Bharadwaj, who has secured the first rank, to come to the stage for felicitation. Go. I now call upon Karishma Maria, who has secured the second rank. She is the junior of Aparna Bhatt, senior advocate. She is also here taking a picture. In 2023, the felicitation function could not take place due to some reason, so we plan to felicitate the toppers of 2023 as well. I call upon Vidhi Pankaj Thakkar, who has secured the first rank, to come to the stage. She secured 99 marks in one paper. I mean, amazing. The second was Mohit Kumar Gupta, but he couldn't come today. So, the felicitation is over. Thank you. I now call upon Rohit Kumar Singh, Joint Secretary, SCORA, to deliver his vote of thanks.
An ignited mind is the most powerful weapon on the earth, and this is only through education. The Advocate on Record examination is one of the most powerful weapons that has over the years produced such ignited minds in the past that I'm sure it will produce more in the future. It is my immense pleasure to honor the proposed vote of thanks on behalf of the entire team of SCORA in this August gathering of welcoming the new Advocates on Record to this Honorable Supreme Court. I also informed that most of the Advocate on Record could not be present because of the closing of the metros and the roads. First of all, I wish to thank the distinguished chief guest of the evening, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Justice Suryakant, and guest of honor for the evening, Honorable Justice K.V. Vishwanathan and Honorable Justice Vipul M. Pancholi. I also wish to thank Justice Sanjeev Sachdeva, Justice Arun Palli, and Justice V. Mona ma'am. And the learned Attorney General as well, for taking out time from the busy schedule and agreeing to grace this occasion. Your presence is ensuring the new AWAs to the Supreme Court will give him immense encouragement and also a sense of responsibility that will be attached to them becoming the Advocate on Record in the Supreme Court. I also wish to thank the Vice President, Rahul Kaushik sir, Secretary Pragya Baghel ma'am, and Joint Secretary Manish Dubey, and Ms. Neena Gupta ma'am, member GICC, and special thanks to Gopal Singh sir for gracing this occasion. I also thank the executive members of the committee of SCORA and also the members of the media for being present here. The registration of all the fellow AWAs in the Supreme Court also attaches immense responsibility. To stand in the Supreme Court also attaches immense responsibility by the rules of law for the highest court of the country. For my personal experience, I could say that this brings immense pride to one in clearing such a tough exam, which has not only produced brilliant lawyers in the past and who have gone on to become senior advocates and also esteemed judges who have adorned the bench in several high courts of the country as well as the prestigious Institute of the Supreme Court of India. I take immense pride in also welcoming the newly registered Advocate on Record to the Honorable Supreme Court of India. I wish you the highest success in the greatest profession. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the distinguished guests, colleagues, seniors, and my friends for gracing this occasion in their presence. I am indeed pleasure to have you all with us. Can I request all the EC members to come on stage for a photograph, please? Hold on, please. I will just request the honorable judges and the dais to come down for a selfie with the new inducted AWAs along with the judges and the council. And after the photograph, there is the tea is at the ground floor, and the rest of the AWAs can collect their certificates from there. Thank you. Yes, sir. You can stand there so that everyone can. Sir, either say, sir, with the other. I just request the new AWAs to come forward, the newly inducted AWAs, for the selfie. I request only the newly inducted AWAs. Rest can just, it will create a ruckus.